Well, good morning on this warm morning in May. It's late May, actually Memorial Day weekend. And I am here to do some eggplant repair. A few weeks ago, actually earlier in May, I planted my eggplant patch. I had to go away for a couple of days. Many of you know that my father-in-law had been very ill. And any rate, when I came back, I thought things would be fine because I thought it was early enough. However, they were totally attacked by flea beetles and totally decimated. And it's been a couple of weeks and clearly they're not coming back. So yesterday I went ahead to my favorite nursery and I do what I don't normally do, and that is I bought some plants because I just don't have enough time to direct seed these eggplant and bring them up to where I want them to be. So I'm growing something called Hansel, which are small eggplants, like fingerling eggplants. And these are Shiku, which are a Japanese style eggplant. Those are some really beautiful plants. So I'm happy to go ahead and get those in the ground. The other thing I'm going to do right away is go ahead and put some spinosad. This is Captain Jack's. This is an organically approved dust. Now, I don't love using dust, but on eggplants, I make an exception before they begin to flower, just to be able to get those plants large enough that they can withstand the onslaught of flea beetles, because as you'll see, flea beetles are totally devastating. The other thing I'm going to do, which I did not do and should have done before, and I know, live and learn, I know I should have done this, is I'm going to put some netting over the top of this right away. Another reason why I'm going ahead and using the spinosad is because I am sure that there's some flea beetles that are remaining in this area, and I really just don't want them to get on my new seedlings because I want that eggplant. So let me show you the difference between eggplant that was planted at the same time and that had devastation by flea beetles immediately and those that were okay. This is an eggplant seedling that had been totally devastated by the flea beetles. And you can just see it got totally skeletonized. So this is just literally coming up. I had grown these from seed. I had taken such good care of them, and basically to no avail. Now these are my eggplant that were planted in the pots, and you can see that they are much healthier. They're growing well. They have had some beetle damage on them, but it hasn't been totally devastating. In fact, there was one right there. So I will be putting some spinosad on these as well. But you can see they're not quite flowering yet, so I don't feel bad about the spinosad. My eggplant bed is situated where my tomatoes were last year, my tomato patch was last year, and it is on the southern end of my garden. These are the shikus. Ooh, I'm going to go ahead and plant this one right here. The soil is still nice and cool, and I'll be mulching this down really well. One right here. I'll be moving these posts, I think, in a bit. Over here's planted some marigolds that are coming up. Those are 3 plants. I'm going to leave it at 3. These are the Hansels, with the ones that will mature more quickly, and they've already got flea beetles on them. Oh my. I'm going to pull up these plants because I really don't think they're going to do anything. No need in keeping plants in that are just not going to thrive. We'll go ahead and put these in. Yep, there we go. This soil is very well prepared. It's had loads of compost put in. Put my tag in so I know what I'm dealing with. Pull this one out. No need keeping a bad plant in. Go ahead and put the supports that will ultimately support these plants in. My dear sweet spouse brought me a nice coffee to get me through this little task. It's getting quite warm out. But what I've done, I have put in some supports, and I just put a tennis ball on top of each one, and I'm just going to cover this with my covering. Now, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put the spinosad on it. This is good coffee. He makes a mean cappuccino. And this is just Captain Jack's, and I'm just going to sprinkle some on the leaves. Now, you know, I don't love using dust, as I said earlier. However, with eggplant, there really is no other way. So I am an organic gardener. This is spinosad, and it is approved for organic gardening. I'm pretty careful with how I use it. Once these plants get big enough, I will not be using this unless the blister beetles show up. If the blister beetles show up, this goes back on at night and then washed off first thing in the morning. I've also put additional hay mulch down. You do have to reapply the dust after it rains. Okay, next, I'm going to put that netting on it. This netting will not stay on all season because the eggplants are going to need to have pollinators come in. Some people say there's some kinds of eggplants that are self-pollinating. I have not necessarily found that to be the case. Up and over you go here. Well, that task is done. And I think those eggplants are going to thrive now. Well, I am quite warm. That took me a little longer than I wanted it to, and it got quite hot while I was out here. But it is Memorial Day weekend, and so that kind of marks the beginning of summer, I suppose. Thank you so much for watching. That is all the work for me this morning. But I'll be back out in the garden this afternoon, so maybe I'll bring you along with me when I come. I hope you're well. Take care. Bye.